Hey, it's Mike. I am back and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk about some Hare Krishna stuff. I want to thank everybody for sticking it out, waiting for me here. Hey, Liam, how you doing? Good to see you here. Glad you made it here. And I hope you're still here. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. Everybody, please like, share, and subscribe, man. I really appreciate it. Trey Martin, good to see you. Good to see you here. Tim Wallace, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And Hayden, hey, I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. So I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. A lot of stuff, and I got some videos. So I want to get right to the opening. I want to get right to it, and let some more people stroll in. So let's get right to this opening. And where is it here? Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. So thanks for sticking it out, the opening. And I want to say hello to my daughter. Hey, how you doing, Bejalo? Good to see you here. Oh, my goodness. Love you so much. Jenna Morton, good to see you here. I love you too. And Fake Human, running after that kiwi, being chased by the cops. And Snot Nananda. Yep. Snot Nananda. And we got feeding the dolls in the pool, of course. So I want to thank everybody for joining in today. This is great. And I want to start off. With something that's kind of serious. But I finally found some information, and I wanted to share it with you. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. But before I even do that, I just want to say, because this is Good Rice, and it's the Krishna Cult Watch. So I do want to say, I just heard. I guess it wasn't recently. It says, I can't get the date correct. See, I don't understand. It says May 20th, 2026. It says injured ISKCON leader dies in Calcutta. But then the date on it, it says October 3rd. I don't know. It's confusing. But it says that this Bhakti Sarup Damodar passed away. And I don't know. I don't know if it happened on the 20th of May or if it happened on the 3rd of October. I'm not sure. But I just want to say I'm sorry to hear that this guru, this one of these scammer gurus passed away in Calcutta. He was 69 years old. And it's sad that he wasted his life in this cult. And you know, what can you say? But anyway, my condolences to his family. If he has any family left, my condolences. And it's sad. Sarup Damodar. There's no picture of him. I don't have a picture of him here. 20 years ago. Yeah, I don't know why the date says. I thought because there was some explosion at a temple. No, not 20 years ago. was it 20 years ago? There was an explosion at his temple or something, and he was injured, and then he died. But anyway, the date on this article says, yes, that guy. That's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy. So yeah, I thought he had passed away, but it said that he was injured, and so I thought maybe he didn't pass away, and I was mistaken, and he had just passed away because the date on this article says May 20th, 2026. Here, I'll show you. It says May 20th, 2026. So I was confused. Injured ISKCON leader dies in Calcutta, and it says May 20th, 2026. So I guess I got the date wrong. I don't know. I don't. I don't know what to say. But what happened was when I saw that, one thing led to another because I was reading about this Dr. Singh, Sarup Damodar, and I finally found this. And this is about my friend Jagjivan Prabhu's passing. So I don't know if anybody knew this devotee. But this is what somebody wrote about him when he passed away. It says, I write in response to your recent report about Jagjivan. Now, this was in 2004. So I know when this was. This was 2004, June 4th, I believe it was. So it's coming up on the anniversary. It says, I offer my deepest gratitude to my godbrother Jagjivan Das, who, along with my other godbrothers and godsisters, introduced me to my eternal spiritual master, His Divine Grace. Yeah, there was some. Yeah, I remember when that happened. It was grenades. Yeah, they threw some grenades, and he got injured. It says in the article that he had a heart attack, that it had nothing to do with the injuries. But yeah, anyway, it was a while ago. It was a while ago. So it says here, whatever faults Jagjivan may have had, I am most humbly grateful to him for supporting my husband Baladas and myself in discovering Divya Jnana, real initiation by hearing from Srila Prabhupada. He says, one way we can always remember the service of Jagjivan is whenever we hear Srila Prabhupada by CD or tape, we can read the title of the lecture. It was Jagjivan who selected the title to these divine lectures. Jagjivan also gave a great deal of service to the Bhaktivedanta archives for many years. And then he wrote the article, Prabhupada Speaks Out, in the BTG. And then it says, let's see, it goes on, it says, though Srila Prabhupada wants us to have a temple life with daily devotee association, may I suggest that living outside of the current temple circumstances may actually help one maintain one's sanity if one has contact with other Prabhupada-centered devotees. Jagajivan was that kind of sound, had that kind of sound devotee association by phone, visits, letters, and email. And I remember that I would talk to him on the phone we would have these long conversations on the phone when I was with the Hare Krishna Society before he passed away. So it says here, so this is the part that, because I never knew exactly what happened. But it says, I and others find it hard to believe a rumor that Jagjivan had a difficult time following. He was one of the most fastidious, regulated persons I have known. There are always rumors. One devotee has made the comment that a day or so before Jagjivan left his body, he said he had done something that he knew would displease Srila Prabhupada. And you see, there you go. And that's what I was saying. He didn't reveal what it was. My husband Bala and I discussed this, knowing Jagjivan and how self-effacing he was. We believe he may have never actually committed any fall down. Uh, so it does say well, it doesn't say in this article. I have another article where it mentions that he was that he may have been, that there were questions about, the way they put it, there were questions about his sexuality. Now I know there was no doubt in my mind that he was a closeted gay man, and everybody, all the devotees that I knew, actually made fun of him behind his back. I knew that, I knew that much, and and I I I didn't like it, and I like the guy. He was a really nice guy, and when I heard that he had passed away, committed suicide, um, he had also talked about displeasing Prabhupada, uh, and because I after reading this person's account of their friendship with him, it reminded me that I had some long conversations with him on the phone, many. Yeah, Andrew, he never left. He was. I don't know if anything. It's so there are so many accidents that happen in Vrindavan, in India. That anything can happen, uh, and anything and everything happens. It does happen. I mean, people get accidents happen all the time. But I wouldn't put it past these people because they are known to be psychopaths. So there you go. What can I say? Uh, uh, he could have been killed, or it could have been an accident. It's hey, Jolene, how you doing? Good to see you here. Yeah, I remember seeing him in Vrindavan a bunch of times. I saw him a bunch of times in there. Uh, this Jagjivan, the anniversary of his passing is coming up. Um, it does say that he did take his own life, um, and the police said that he was. It looks like he was dancing and chanting along the banks of the pond where his body was later found. Um, it just that's another. I consider I consider his death, his suicide, his death to be related to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's teachings, directly related to that, to the brainwashing, to the spiritual blackmail, to the PTSD, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. You'd have to study. You'd have to really study this cult and study the mental illness, and that's what I'm interested in. Is the 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 mental illness, the level of insanity, actual insanity that these people have, the gurus and the followers. There's a level of craziness, of just delusions and mental illness, and I mean it. I mean it just is. Tomorrow will be 40 years. Tomorrow will be 40 years for Salochan, who was killed right there behind Hamilton High School. It was right there, like on, I forget the name of that street, but it right there by Castle Heights, and I can't think of the name. I used to know it. It's been so long. I know exactly where it was. Um, because I grew up right there, and I went to that school. I know exactly where it was, and it shocked me when I heard about that. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like right there, like right there. Um, and that's why I call these people psychopaths. When Henry Dortorsky says everybody in New Vrindavan was brainwashed, and everybody would have killed this guy. They were saying that he was killed 40 years ago tomorrow. Um, everybody, he said, and anybody and everybody would have done it because they were all brainwashed. You tell me that's not some Jonestown type shit. He said he would have done it if he said, he's at least he's being honest. He's saying I was that. He's saying I was that brainwashed, and yet he doesn't see that the danger of this cult. He admits that he was brainwashed and that he would have killed this guy. He would have murdered somebody, and yet he can't distance himself from it 100%. He says, well, this Prabhupada still has some good stuff. Mental Illness Incorporated. It's Mental Illness Incorporated. Yeah, see, there's another one. I mean, I believe that if he had woke up and left, he'd still be alive today. He wouldn't have died. He wouldn't have died in that tragic accident in Vrindavan. That's what I'm saying. Jagjivan, the anniversary of his passing is like June 4th. Salochan is May 22nd, I guess. May 22nd. And then we have and I'm serious about this. I'm gonna do like a Memorial Day, a day of memory for these people that I can find, and that this Hladini, Linda Jury, October 3rd. October 3rd is the day that she was brutally, and this is how they say it, because they don't even want to. They just say this is what they say. I don't mean to laugh, but this is what they say. Sunday, October 3rd, is the anniversary of the day in 1990 on which Hladini Devi Dasi was brutally gunned down by an extrajudicial firing squad in war-torn Liberia in Western Africa. And then it goes on. The death squad arrived. Well, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Back up. Why was she in? Why was she in Liberia in Western Africa? What is that? What's that? It says the death squad arrived at the Hare Krishna temple in the capital of Monrovia in the early morning hours and ordered the devotees to come out. Well, what was she doing there? What was she doing there in the middle of a war? And then it says, and so they make it seem like she's this great martyr or something, right? She says, as the leader raised his weapon to fire the first execution volley, Hladini leapt forward and attacked him with her bare hands. She shouted, "How dare you kill the devotees of Krishna? Better you kill me than kill them." Hladini was first to be shot. I know her parents didn't raise her to join a cult and go off and be told. She was told to go there by some friggin' stupid guru in New Vrindavan where these people are brainwashed. Where Henry Dortorsky said, we were all brainwashed. We would have killed this guy. And she was one of them because she was there. And she was just as brainwashed because when they told her to go to Africa, to this country in Africa, she's like, okay, I'll go. They don't, if I was writing this thing, I'd say, this poor woman, it's the anniversary of the day in 1990 when this Hladini Devi Dasi, this Linda Jury, was brutally gunned down in war-torn Liberia by a firing squad in Western Africa where she had no business being. She was only there because some guru who had control of her mind convinced her that that's where she needed to be, in the middle of a war. That's why she's dead. That's why she got shot. It's not because these freaks busted in there and no, she didn't belong there to begin with. She had no business being there. She's from Detroit. He says, Hladini grew up in a suburb of Detroit with her older brother and sister. She had many friends and lots of pets, including a dog named Pepperdoodle and a frog named Herbie. She spent her summers at the family vacation cottage. Hladini had a happy childhood. And then she ends up getting shot in Monrovia in Liberia in West Africa. It says, and it doesn't say, and this is how they clean that up. In December 1989, Hladini made the painful decision to leave the place that was so dear to her and traveled to West Africa. Well, why did she make that painful decision? If it was so painful, why did she go? What was the thing? She's in Vrindavan where she loves. The place is so dear to her. Why was it so important for her to go to West Africa? What was that all about? Why was it painful? If she wanted to go preach in Africa, in Liberia, in the middle of a war, why was it painful? It should have been, hey, I'm finally getting to do the thing I always want to do, go to Africa and preach in the middle of a war. Maybe I might get shot, but hey, this is what I always wanted to do. Why was it painful? Because she didn't want to go. By the time Hladini reached Monrovia, the capital of Liberia, the country was entrenched in a fratricidal civil conflict. Why didn't she just leave? It's friggin' insanity, man. You can't tell me that's not insanity. Hopefully these people realize that they wasted their time in the afterlife. How sad, though, wasting your life in a rigged cult that restricts you from in a cult that will send you. They don't give a fuck about these people. They sent her off to a friggin' war zone. And she was so brainwashed, she figured that she had to go. Absolutely. She was a normal young lady. Her and her husband. And they met these friggin' devotees and they joined. And the husband leaves and she ends up dead. This is friggin' insanity. She ends up dead. Why? So she could go sell Prabhupada's books, beg for books in the middle of a war, distribute prasadam, some khichdi, some halava, some whatever. I mean, you gotta be. I'm serious, man. And I was one of them. You gotta be mentally ill. You gotta be. We were under the spell. It's like an illness. It's a mental illness. Doesn't mean you can't get better, but it's an illness. A normal person in their right mind is not going to get up and leave Detroit or West Virginia to go to West Africa in the middle of a war and set up a friggin' free food, free book table. And anybody that would do that has got to have their head checked. I don't care. Selling Prabhupada's books. I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity. Okay. So you got to think like, how are these people's minds? How is Jug Jivan's mind so controlled that he took his own life rather than just leave this cult, rather than just say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go be a gay man, or I'm gonna go just be whoever he was. I'm not cosplaying anymore the way we did." He couldn't do it. His mind, he was too. I'm glad I didn't kill myself over this bullshit. Jug Jivan, because he had an affair with some man, another man, he decided he had to kill himself. Same thing with Vishnu John. And nobody knows what Vishnu John, but I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing. And this Hladini, I gotta go to Africa. I mean, was she such a big preacher? Was she that important that they needed her in Liberia? I mean, come on, man. That's what I'm saying. No, there's no psychiatrist or psychiatrist or mental health that's studying this shit. First of all, they don't even know about it. They don't know this woman. They don't know that this woman went. This guy. Let me show you. This guy, he talks all about cults and mind control and manipulation and all this stuff. And he's really good, and I'm going to show you this video in a minute. You think he knows about this Hladini going to Africa and getting shot for this cult? Or Jug Jivan? Or Vishnu John? Or Solochan getting shot, and Henry Dorktorsky saying, we were all brainwashed. We all would have done it. You think this guy knows anything about that shit? This guy'd fall off his chair. This guy would fall off his chair if he knew. He'd say, I gotta study this shit. These people are fucking nuts. You got gurus promoting child marriage and thinking that they're in line going back to a elephant-headed god or a 5,000-year-old guy that lives on a mountain that talks to an elephant-headed guy. Meanwhile, his disciple is floating between planets playing a guitar. And you think Krishna appeared 500 years ago dancing around in Bengal? And you somehow are channeling this and all of this crap? I mean, his fucking head would explode. You tell them that these people killed themselves. Rather than leave the cult, they killed themselves because they had an affair. The guy, tell him that this guy killed himself because he talked to his ex-wife. So he went and he threw himself in a river and killed himself. Jog Jiwan had a homosexual affair and he couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with it. Because his guru told him that if you do something like that, you should just kill yourself. So he figured, well, I should just kill myself because this little 4 foot tall Indian guy from Calcutta who had an 11-year-old wife when he was 22, failed chemist, said, I should kill myself if I have a homosexual. So I guess that's what I should do. How fucking mental you gotta be. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to, I'm sorry my friend, killed himself. But the guy was, he believed this shit. He was brainwashed into this shit. He was brainwashed into thinking he was better off dead than to live as a closeted homosexual or to come out of the closet and just live his life. Okay, I'm going to get to the video. I'm going to get to this video now. That was my rant. Yeah, 4 foot tall. He's 4 foot 4 foot tall. 4 foot tall. Okay. Here we go. I'm glad you got the gist of it on that one.
I've been wondering for years how a cult leader convinces thousands of people to trust him, even when the entire world turns against him and the cult. So I decided to do some research on Jim Jones, the People's Temple cult, and Jonestown to understand what's actually going on here. In 1961, psychiatrist Robert Lifton at Harvard Medical School mapped the exact mechanisms used to replace a person's independent reality with the leader's reality. He called it thought reform. Jim Jones used every single one of these mechanisms to indoctrinate his followers. So does Donald Trump. Here are the 6 mechanisms that explains how one man convinces thousands of people that moving to the jungle and dying for him makes sense. 1. The creation of a savior. Jones didn't start by demanding loyalty. He started by giving people something they never had before. Jones built one of the first racially integrated congregations in Indiana. He fed the poor. He marched for civil rights. He pulled tumors out of people that were actually just chicken parts wrapped in tissue. And they believed him anyway. Psychologist William Swan, at the University of Texas at Austin, studied what happens when a person's identity merges completely with a leader. He called it identity fusion. His enemies become your enemies. His survival becomes your survival. An attack on him feels like an attack on your own body. Once that happens, facts become irrelevant. You are not just disagreeing with their politics. You are threatening their very existence. Trump did the same thing. He told forgotten Americans that the system had failed them.
You see, like when I say something about Prabhupada, they come in and they attack. They attack like I'm saying something about them. I'm saying something about their mother, or I'm saying something about their wife or husband or whatever. They take it like it's an attack on them. I say Prabhupada's a 4 foot tall, stinky little Indian, and they take it. They can't handle it. Identity fusion. Exactly. It's an attack on them. It's an attack on their identity. Because without Prabhupada, they're nothing. You tear Prabhupada down, and you tear Prabhupada down, they've got nothing. All of these guys, they got nothing. You tear Prabhupada down, and you say, well, he had an 11-year-old wife. He was 22, had an 11-year-old wife, and he's racist and sexist. It screws them up. They can't handle that. They got to defend that shit.
And only he could fix it. The MAGA cult was not a political position. It was a personality. When you criticize Trump, you are telling his followers their own judgment was wrong, that their own instincts are broken, that their own identity was a mistake. Jones didn't build followers. He built extensions of himself. And those people don't leave. They don't question. And they don't doubt. They just follow, all the way to the end, just like some of the most fanatical MAGA supporters.
And that's why, I compare, I say, I've been saying for a long time, and I continue to say it, Prabhupada and these gurus are no different than Jim Jones. They're no different. In fact, when Kirtananda and these people at New Vrindavan killed Salochan, and Doktorsky says, hey, we were all brainwashed, we all would have, that's proof. You don't need any more proof. You don't need any more. You think that anything's changed? Oh no, they don't think like that anymore? Nothing's changed. If Jayapataka or any of these gurus, Lokanath or any of these guys, they really felt threatened, and their guru losing days were going to end, and they were going to go to jail, or the party was going to be over. They would, who knows what they would do. Well, we do know what they would do because they've already done it. They've already killed people. They've already done the worst thing that they could possibly do. So we already know that that's what they would do.
Until there's nothing left. 2. Invented enemies. Once Jones had followers, he needed to keep them. The most powerful way to keep people is not love, it's fear. Psychologist Jeff Greenberg at the University of Arizona developed a landmark study in 1986 on what happens to people when they feel their survival is under threat. He called it terror management theory. When people believe they're in danger, their brain stops evaluating information and starts looking for protection. They cluster around their leader. They reject outsiders. They become more extreme. The more scared they are, the more loyal they become. Jones invented enemies everywhere. The government was watching. The CIA was plotting. People who defected were traitors. Every piece of negative press was proof of a conspiracy. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it sounds like Prabhupada. It sounds exactly like Prabhupada. It sounds like every cult leader. It sounds exactly like Prabhupada.
The more dangerous the outside world seemed, the tighter his followers held on. Trump runs the same machine. Immigrants are invading. The deep state is plotting. The media is lying. Every institution that produces evidence against him is part of the conspiracy.
And Prabhupada had it easy because all he had to say was, it's Kali Yuga. It's Kali Yuga, it's Maya. And that covers everything. Everything falls under that. It's Kali Yuga and it's Maya. So Maya's got you fooled. Maya's got you tricked and fooled. You can't trust your eyes, your ears. You can't trust anything because it's Maya. And then even if you do trust your eyes and your ears and something goes wrong, well, it's Kali Yuga, Prabhu. What are you going to do? Your guru fell down? Well, it's Kali Yuga.
A leader who makes followers feel like their survival is under constant threat does not need to earn loyalty every day. Fear does that for him. 3. The staged persecution. Jones did not just tell followers they were under attack. He showed them. He staged fake assassination attempts with blood-stained shirts and miraculous recoveries. He ran drills where followers were handed cups and told the liquid was poison. When they didn't die, he told them it was a loyalty test. In 1961, psychiatrist Robert Lifton at Harvard Medical School identified the mechanism that makes manufactured chaos so effective. He called it milieu control, the deliberate manipulation of the environment, so the leader becomes the only stable point. When everything outside feels dangerous and unpredictable, the leader becomes the only thing that makes sense. His followers believe that if this many powerful people want him dead, he must matter. And surviving together bonded them in a way nothing else could. Trump ran the same.
And I got to say, there's so many, and to this day, there's so many ex-devotees and devotees who fall into that idea that Everybody wanted Prabhupada dead. The CIA was infiltrating. The FBI was infiltrating. Everybody was spying on him. They were trying to bring him down and this and that. And, I don't buy it. I mean, a lot of groups are under surveillance, and they watch to see what's going on. But very few are actually infiltrated. Now, sometimes they may have an informant. Somebody may know something, and they go to the police and they go, "Hey, man, I know that they shot this guy in a van." I mean, sometimes people will come clean when they know something. But being an informant or going to the FBI or going to the police when you know that there's a guru that's dealing drugs or smuggling drugs. Just because you go and you report some shady shit going on doesn't mean that the FBI has infiltrated and is living in the ashram. Yeah, I mean, basically, most people join. They don't know it's a cult. First of all, they don't know it's a cult, and they're joining an organization, a movement, a group, and they think they're doing something good. They really do. They think they're doing something good. They're helping out, and it could be for narcissistic reasons, or it could be for altruistic reasons. But usually, people get involved in a church organization, or they get involved with some kind of whatever group or whatever it is, because they think they're doing. They think they're doing something good. Well, ISKCON teaches all the bad shit. Prabhupada's handbook, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is the handbook to how to be a shitty person. How to be racist, sexist, all of that. How to be a megalomaniac, narcissistic, borderline personality with delusions of grandeur. I mean, it's all in there. It's all in there. It's exactly what it is. Okay. I recommend you check out this guy. He's really good. His name is Lucas Bean. And I really like his videos, so I'm gonna stop him there because I got so many videos I can't spend too much time on each one. It's just a little bit. I just give you a little taste. And then we move on. This guy's really good too. And I didn't know this about him. But it was interesting, and I guess maybe this is why he's so good. This guy's really good too. Wait a minute, hold on. My brother thought it was just a group where people do meditation, and he thought the people he met are so nice. He definitely wasn't looking to join a cult. Absolutely. I and that's. I was the same way. I thought I was hanging out with cool people, and I was gonna do some chanting, some of this Hare Krishna stuff, and chanting and singing in front of these statues. That was basically it. I didn't think it was gonna get so deep. Okay, I really seriously. At the beginning, I just thought, and I think a lot of people are like that. I wanted to show you. That brings up something that I wanted to show you. Pause. That's why this is so important, and this is why I do this. So there's these people here called Happy Jack Yoga. Is exactly what you're talking about, Paz. It's called Happy Jack Yoga, and it says world-class yoga online education with a high vibe community. Okay, and as you see Happy Jack and his happy wife, and but then you look down, and what is it? It's Bhakti Yoga Conference. It's 6 Pillars of Bhakti. And it says up here, it says Harvard Divinity School, Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. I don't know what that has to do with it. And maybe it has to do with something. Maybe he's got a degree. Maybe he went to, I don't know. But here he's got this Raghunath. He's got Punkta Flunk there, 6 Pillars of Bhakti. He's got this Gauranga Das, a Bhakti Yoga Conference, 4 Principles of Community Building, which is bullshit. Radhanath Swami and Dr. Francis X. Clooney, Bhakti Yoga Conference. He's got this, who is this? Janavi Harrison Bhakti Yoga Conference, and then some yoga stuff, some more yoga stuff, yoga stuff with Kundalini, yoga stuff with meditation. And so that's how they get you. They get you because that's how they get people with this. You know, they don't realize. You know, at first they're searching. Maybe they're searching online for yoga. It's to do yoga online, like that girl said. She was just doing. She just wanted to do yoga, and she ended up in a friggin' cult. She ended up in a cult, and she was just looking for a yoga class to go to. That's it. I remember when I saw other editions of the Gita and immediately thought, how come as it is so thick? Oh, yeah, failed chemist purports. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was it. That was the
I can dance. Boom, 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 You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, 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 yay.
Yeah, absolutely. He put all his brainwashing bullshit in there. He expertly put his brainwashing bullshit in there into his books. Absolutely. He was definitely good at that. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. He's good at that. He's absolutely good at that. The narcissist leaders generally, unless there's a gain in material, will try to start another branch. Hence, Vaishnavas are born year to year. You know, they teach this shit. They teach this. This is a mental illness. This narcissism and these delusions. It spreads like an illness. It spread to me. It spread to all of us. I joined ISKCON because it seemed to answer all the questions I had at the time. It wasn't until I got into it I realized how difficult it was to follow and have faith. People join for various reasons. Now, that's an interesting point that you bring up, because I was watching a video where a lot of people say that they had a feeling. Not in ISKCON. Most people in ISKCON, when they're talking about their magical mystery story, they're talking about how they got a book and their questions were answered. It answered my questions. It answered the questions about why I'm here, where we're going, why we're born, what the soul is. It answers questions. It's not like a feeling. It's not like, oh, I got the Holy Ghost or I felt God in the heart. No, it's exactly what you say here. 99% of the people that join or say that they join because it seemed to answer all my questions. Prabhupada has all the answers. He says, you know, there's something wrong with society, and society is we're trying to make society better, but it just seems like it's getting worse. And other than getting worse, I mean, look at, the doctors and all these things, they're trying to solve all these problems, but the problems still exist. I mean, and he's leading you along. He's leading you along, and he's answering his questions that he sticks in your head, and he hooks you that way. Rarely do you find anyone who says, "Yeah." I mean, there are a few people that go, "Yeah," but usually they say, usually it's like this: "Oh, I wasn't a Hare Krishna. I was just I was in college, and so I heard a mantra. I heard this mantra, Hare Krishna, and I started chanting it. And I chanted it. And then one day I met a devotee. And I got a book, and I went to a temple, and then the whole thing starts, it starts that way. Here, let me, while we're on the subject, I'll share you, Rafal shared with me his magical mystery story. And he says, at one stage, he says, in the early 80s, my neighbor was involved in these things, Reiki, pendants, cosmic energy. He got me interested in that sort of thing. At one stage, he came for a visit along with a VHS cassette played a program showing Sai Baba, and chanting of Hare Krishna mantra was in the background. December 89, my high school class went on a trip all the way to Krakow. I met ISKCON for the first time, first buying a book and then just leaving for hometown. We managed to attend a program. I just turned 15. Eventually, only I got seriously involved with ISKCON. Nobody even came close. Fast forward to 92, I just attended my first Palooza near the Baltic Sea with Brian Tibbett. So, you know, there's no, I had this feeling came over me, and I just knew it was the absolute truth. I was overwhelmed with ecstatic. No, it's just, you know, I heard them chanting, and then, you know, and then I got a book. You know, I was doing yoga, and somebody gave me a book, and, you know, and then it answered my questions, and I liked reading it. I finished it in a week. It's rarely is it. I had a feeling I got the Holy Spirit, or, you know, I felt Krishna radiating from inside. It's coming all through all my pores. It's never. Meditation, yoga crap is a fishing. It is. That's exactly what it is, and that's why I put that up there. That's why I'm warning people. Beware of these yoga things. There's happy Jack yoga. He doesn't want to say, you know, bhakti yoga or Hare Krishna yoga or Hare Krishna or anything like that. It's just happy Jack yoga with happy Jack and happy wife, and then all my Krishna friends are going to come on and talk about. They're going to talk about all the Krishna stuff. There's this guy and this guy, and there's some more Radhanath, and we got lessons from Srila Prabhupada, and we got Bhakti Marga Swami, and we got Sri Shamarani. Yeah, I'll put anybody up there. And I got, you know, this guy.
Namaste, yogis. Welcome to Bhakti Yoga Conference 2026, walking the path of love together. I'm Happy Jack from Happy Jack Yoga, and we are honored to be here with you. You know,
It's no different than seriously, it's no different than Gora Hari or any of these other guys. This is his approach. This is his approach to being a super white Hindu. That's it. Super white Hindu. Their recruitment is so dishonest. It's such a scam, and he's recruiting people. He always talks about the new people that he gets to visit the temple. And it's so sad. I know, Paz. It's so sad. You know, I'm going to tell you right now, Paz. I'm going to tell you right now. When the first time you came in and you told me what happened, man, I was heartbroken because I knew, and the first thing I said to you was, they got him. They got him, and there's nothing we can do to get him out. And now look at him. He's bringing people in. He's bragging about bringing people in. It's sad. I doing the Be a Monk challenge. It makes me sick. I know because you know the truth. Because you know the truth. You know, if you'd never met me and you didn't know anything, you'd think that you'd be like, hey, he's doing his thing. You know, he's a monk. You know, he's into this Hindu thing now, and he's like a priest. Because that's the kind of thing that's what my mom would say. Oh, you know, he's doing this, you know, he's following this Hindu path of enlightenment and spirituality, and he's chanting his mantras, and he's doing this, you know, this is an ancient, she believed all the bullshit that we believed. You know, and it's sad, and when I think about it, it's so sad. It's so sad. Boom, boom, you know, it is. First, we got to do this.
Just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Okay, so I got that guy out of the way. So there's a lot of things I wanted to get to. I wanted to talk about. And I should write them down, but I should write them down sometime. uh, it's so sad. Pause. Challenge of being a monk. Ask your brother if Deprogram Swami or Bhakti Vidyapurna will be in attendance as well. Such a nonsense. Celibacy is true self-abuse. It's the self-sacrifice. It's one of the 10 things of a cult. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice your pleasure. You gotta sacrifice self-sacrifice. No doing things you want to do. Only do the things that we say you can do. You can't do all that stuff. That's a self-sacrifice. It's so sad. I mean, it's just really so sad. There's no other way to. Walking the path of love. Welcome, yogis. Latest news. Only 5 swamis run away in the past 6 months. But hey, nothing to worry about because this bhakti yoga crap definitely works. But you know, it is so ridiculous. It is so. I'm sorry, man. It is so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. I remember the first book I got by Prabhupada, The Science of Self-Realization. After that, it was like an obsession to find more of his books in secondhand stores. This was in the early 1990s. Yeah. I was at the LA Temple, so I had the book. They had all the books there. Every time I'd get paid, I'd go buy like 2 or 3 books. Those books were like, $15-20 a piece. So I'd buy like 1 or 2 books every time I got paid. I wasn't making a lot of money because I was a devotee. I was working at ITV. But the first book I got was Bhagavad Gita, and then I got Science of Self-Realization. And after I read Science of Self-Realization, I got some little books, but then I wanted to start reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. I know. I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's why I tell people, be careful with this bullshit. It's so easy to get sucked into it. It is so easy to get sucked into it. We forget how we got sucked in, how easy it was. How easy it was. I was just going to read the Bhagavad Gita just to, out of curiosity, like, I wasn't like, ooh, I want to be a Hare Krishna. No, I was just like, what is this book? This guy gave me this book. He wants me to read it. He wrote my name in it. And, he's like, to my friend, Mike, I hope you enjoy this Bhagavad Gita. And I kind of felt obligated because I figured he's going to ask me, hey, have you read it yet? And I was going to be like, no. So I figured, okay, let me at least read the introduction. And by the time I finished the introduction, I wanted to read it, even though there's racism, sexism, all this crap. I wanted to read it, and then I got sucked into it. I can't explain it. Well, let's see. Maybe this guy can explain it. Let's get back to this guy. Maybe he can explain it. Hold on here.
I've enjoyed a self-satisfying taste of my own appetite for absolutism. For 7 years, I lived on the farm, the world's largest hippie commune. Now I study cultism. I was a true believer. I really believed in and practiced, to the best of my ability, our tribal ways, as we called them. I don't bet the farm was a cult, but I was sure cultish about it. I was an absolutist among absolutists. I felt proud and confident in what felt to me like my eternal groove. I assumed I'd be buried on our land, as were many a dear friend from that period. We had a lot of true believers. We were in alignment. You could trust pretty much everyone to be doing their part. That alignment and faith coordinated us. We got a lot done. Over time, we began to splinter, but gracefully. Our leaders stepped down without embarrassment, and the community loosened up. There are true believers. The Trump cult has very few of them. They're a cult of false relievers, by which I mean they feel no need to practice what they preach. They're in it for the personal relief of wearing a team jersey that they assume entitles them to act with authority and confidence. They're absolutist dinos, devotion in name only. It's an important difference, though both real and fake devotion are dangerous. Absolute dedication to any habit is dangerous and tempting. Like I said, I've enjoyed a satisfying taste of the romantic dream of an eternal groove. No more forks to navigate, an express train to goodness. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. To find such is what Marshall McLuhan called auto-amputation, a cutting off of a part of oneself to become a part of a larger whole. The surrender of some autonomy, which can feel like taking off tight shoes when it's also tying some on.
Wow. That says a lot, okay? That says a lot. But, you know, I didn't know that he was on a commune, on a cult commune. But he does a lot of good work. And his name is Jeremy Sherman, PhD. And he does a lot of stuff about cults. And definitely check him out if you want to learn more about cults. I bought original Krishna Cult book, which was lucky for me. I read Chant 64 Rounds. That was me and out. That's funny. Now, having been in ISKCON, then blooping, I can't even bring myself to read them anymore. But back then, I couldn't get enough of them for free. I could not get enough of Prabhupada's books. I was so brainwashed. I would read his books every day. Every day I was reading. Sometimes I would read. I was reading multiple books at one time. I was reading Bhagavad Gita and I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam at the same time, and going through the Bhagavatam. And when I got done with the Bhagavatam, I went right into the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when I ended with the Bhagavad Gita, I started reading it over again. Meanwhile, I'm studying Prabhupada's lectures, his videos, working it out. I mean, I was immersed in this crap. And as soon as I stopped, I had so much time. Spent so much time reading this bullshit. I couldn't believe how much time I spent reading this bullshit because I couldn't believe how much time I had. Now that I wasn't reading it, I was like, oh my God, I've got hours and hours and hours of the day. Because I would read some, sometimes during the day when I'd have a chance, I'd read. And then I would read at night before I'd go to bed, or in the evening. I would read. I'd have to read. I'd read a couple, at least, a chapter or two. I was reading. Yeah, it's weird. Can't look at them. Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I gave all that shit up, and I didn't want any of that shit around. I just didn't want that shit around. I don't know what that number is. I think that number is like 1 million. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's 1 million. A million names. I don't know. That's a lot. Yeah, that's how I am. That's how I am. If I hear his voice or see his picture too much for too long, I get a rash. I start to break out in a rash. I have an allergy to saffron. After 20 years of that, though, 20 years of that, but really you're not mentally there. That's why we thought those books were so great, because we were in a delusion. We were mentally ill. We were, and it doesn't mean we got better. I mean, we absolutely got better, but we were mentally ill. We were delusional. We thought these books were great, and I read them. When I read the stuff, or I see it, or I look stuff up on the database, I can't believe that I can't believe how great I thought this bullshit was. Howard's books got a lot of us when it was all new to us. After trying to apply it and seeing how progressively more it expected out of you, it left me feeling inadequate and useless. Yeah, you're a hamster on a wheel. You're a hamster on a wheel. And as soon as you start to think like, I'm not feeling it, well, it's me. I gotta run more. I gotta run more. I gotta chant more. Whatever it is, I gotta do more of it. And it's just, it's such bullshit, And like these gurus, they want to say like, well, if you're not understanding, you're not surrendered, you're not serving, like this Gora Hari, he wants to say, well, they don't understand because they're not hearing it from the right source. They're not hearing it from me. It's fucking delusion. Yeah, I get a rash, man. I get a rash. You can see sometimes I'm talking and I'm like, I got a rash. I got a scratch. I get yeah, absolutely, man. This Vedic shit. This Vedic shit causes me to break out. I break out. I break. Fake it till you break out, man. I break out in a rash. Okay. I want to show a little bit more of this woman because she's so good. She's just so good, and I think it really helps when you can understand what's going on in the brain. I'm just going to show a little bit because I encourage you to go check her out on your own so you can watch. If you're interested, you can watch her whole video because she's really good, and I'm learning a lot from these people. I'm learning a lot about I'm learning about delusions and mental illness and psychosis and all of these things. Read about Krishna's path. We are the pastimes if you think a little. Yeah, I think I'm thinking a little too much for that. I'm thinking a little too much. Here we go with this. A little bit more of this. This is where I left off on the last one.
So I'm using religion as an example here because I'm talking about religion and mysticism, but you can see how even outside of religion, how a brain develops in these stages neurotypically. Now, autistic people, for example, don't have as much of a sense, an inborn sense, that there are supernatural agents. They are more likely than neurotypical people in childhood to think that a storm is just a storm and to become curious about clouds. And it's not uncommon for an autistic child to just think, what is everyone going on about at church, or to think that people are lying or pretending, or to feel like something is wrong with them. So I may not be describing you, and what I'm doing is kind of focused around.
So a lot of people in church, in church activities, church services, who are neurodivergent or autistic on the spectrum, I guess through the studies that she's done, they are less likely to get the Holy Ghost, to have that experience, that supernatural feeling that people are having in church. Their brains are not wired for that. The normal brain is wired to go, oh yeah, God, that makes sense. There's a God up there, and our brains are wired for that to make sense. It's not, like I was saying, it's not that our brains are neutral. So when the people who are on the spectrum or neurodivergent, they're less likely to go that way. They're more likely to say, what's everybody going on about this Holy Spirit thing? Why are people going on about this?
Religion, but this is just the neurotypical path of a brain. So in stage 2, we move from imagination to structure because that's what we're really needing in childhood. And in religion, this looks like this story literally happened, Noah's Ark and Jonah and the whale. This rule is always true. You already assume agency, that God is acting in some way, and now you add rules to that agency. So now it's not just I sense intuitively that something is behind the storm. It becomes God made the storm because someone did something wrong. And that will feel intuitive to us. And this is important because it stabilizes the chaos from stage 1, where, the world felt magical, and now the world becomes ordered and moral and understandable because kids need structure and fairness and predictability for proper development in that phase. The strengths of this phase is just that sense of stability and structure.
And she says kids need this. Kids need this, but there are adults that believe this. That's why there are adults that believe that we're making offenses to their demigods, and the Yamadutas are going to come and drag us away or drag me away. I don't want to implicate you guys in this, okay? But since you're here, the Yamadutas are going to come and attack us like a boogeyman. They're still in this childish thinking that these stories these stories validate their childish understanding of the world that we live in.
Stage is important, and they'll try to push their kids towards the nuance stage that they are in that has a lot of ethical gray, and then their kids end up with anxiety because this is actually the stage that needed rules and for good guys to be good and bad guys to be bad, which is why as a secular parent I give my younger kids sometimes even arbitrary rules and chores and get good grades and rules about their language and things that I don't give an F about, but I do those things in order to create a smaller ordered world, which then helps them to fly that nest later in life. Now the weaknesses of this phase is obviously it's very black and white. It can't handle nuance or contradiction. Justice becomes very rigid. Bad things happen when you're bad. Good things happen when you're good, which we all know is not how the world works. And then fear-based control amps up again in this phase because you have this sense that bad things are going to happen to me if I'm bad. And so hell and punishment and God is watching you hits the hardest because the brain cannot process symbolism and metaphor yet. And
So talking about the young brain and how the young brain is processing not only the world around it and trying to figure it out, right? Because it's a small child's brain. It doesn't understand everything. It's trying to figure it out. It's trying to make sense of what makes no sense, right? And the world doesn't make sense. But this young child's brain is trying to make sense of it. But it's already got bias just through evolutionary process. It's already biased to be on the lookout for danger and all of these other things. So then at this young age, you introduce this religion to the pot. The fear and the rules and the rigidity of religion and the reward and the punishment, the heaven and the hell, and the angels and the demons and the demigods and the devils. And you put that and you just mix that into a little kid's head who's already confused and trying to figure things out. And then, so let's just stick them in here.
Hare Krishna. So thank you for coming today evening, and does any of you know what we're going to discuss today? The topic? Yes?
Science, technology, and more.
And
something else.
yeah, anyone else? Sorry? Yeah, correct. What did you say?
Physiology.
Okay, slightly different.
So put these young kids in there trying to make sense of the world, and now they're going to listen to this. They're going to listen to this mentally ill guy who believes in these stories are literal. He believes in these Yamadutas and all these weird things. He believes, what to speak of the dangerous things. It's just the mythology itself is enough that he believes all that stuff is real. But he believes women like to be raped and women are less intelligent. They have small brains and they're dumb. And black people belong in the jungles and never should have been given freedom and civil rights and all. He believes all this shit in Prabhupada's books. Child marriage and all of this crap. So let's put all these kids in there and let him teach these kids. And so he can groom them into believing in gurus and God-men, and that there's an imaginary line of people that goes back 5,000 years of some elephant-headed guy talking to a yogi living on a mountain. There was some 16-year-old kid that didn't want to be born, so he stayed inside his mother, and then he came running out when he was 16, and he ran, and then he gave a lecture to all these old guys. I mean, but what they're doing, they're just grooming these kids to be mentally ill, to be mentally ill adults. That's it. Mentally ill adults. They're grooming them. They're sitting there and they're going to listen to this nut. We don't even need to listen to this nut because we already know what he's going to say. We already know what he's going to say. We don't need to listen to him. That's what's going on. Obviously, Gurukula and ISKCON ain't working. Over the years, abuse and indoctrination, massive brainwashing. Seeing these kids, it's so sad. I know, it is. It is. It's absolutely, it makes me want to cry. This is Hare Krishna. These are Melbourne. These kids are in Australia, and they're learning this Vedic stuff with pretend Vedic, cosplaying Vedic stuff. And then, you know, some of those kids are going to end up in a Gurukula in India and being abused. This is guaranteed. It's guaranteed. I guarantee it. And it's sad because I don't want to guarantee it. I don't want to have to guarantee it. I'm not trying to guarantee it. But that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Just like, you know, I didn't know Paz's brother was going to join, but I knew someone was going to join. And I'm saying it every day. Somebody's joining this shit. Yeah, Yamaduta still freak me out to this day. Some of the things written in Prabhupada's books are extremely traumatizing, can really mess with your head. Yes, absolutely. I'm telling you, man, Prabhupada fucked up my head. It wasn't so bad when I was 30 years old. Now that I'm 65, it's like, you know, he fucked up my head, okay? That's just what I'm going to try and say. ISKCON Dallas yesterday, a kid crying about growing up. I don't know. Okay, so I got another one. Okay, I'm gonna hold off on this one. So this is another guy that's really good. He's a doctor, and he talks about narcissistic and grandiose. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do my own study. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a doctor, PhD. I'm no dumb Harvard dumbass. I'm none of that, and I'm not pretending to be. But I'm doing my own research, and I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about this narcissistic fantasy, grandiose delusions, the different types, and what they mean, and psychosis and psychopathy and all. I'm learning a lot about this stuff because my hypothesis is these gurus are mentally ill. They're insane. Everyone from Gaurahari to Harvard dumbass to Indra Yumna Swami to Bicycle Das to Punk to Flunk to all of them. If they're spouting this bullshit, they're insane. If they're not insane, then they're scamming. There's no other explanation. They're either scamming or they're insane. I'm convinced, and I'm gonna prove that they're insane. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prove they're insane. They're mentally ill. They need to be locked up in a hospital. Harvard dumbass, Indra Yumna, Brian Tibbetts, Hugh Turvey, Lokanath, all of them. Little Dickie Slavin can take his bullshit, shove it up his ass. That's what I say right now, right here, and I'll continue to say it.
Welcome to my scientifically informed insider look at mental health topics. If you find this video to be interesting or helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I describe the difference between grandiose and vulnerable narcissism in terms of the fantasies? So are there fantasy-based differences between these two types of narcissism? So this is really an interesting question because it gets into kind of the complex relationship between grandiose and vulnerable narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. And it also kind of makes the argument that you can, in some sense, distinguish grandiose and vulnerable narcissism just by looking at fantasies. Now, I don't know if that's possible, but I have throughout my career seen a lot of differences in the fantasies. So there are certain themes I've seen with grandiose that you just don't see with vulnerable very often, and themes with vulnerable that you just don't see in grandiose too often. Now, of course, there is some overlap, and I'll talk about kind of these fantasy themes in this video. So first I want to cover what the differences are between grandiose and vulnerable and narcissistic personality disorder. So NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, is a diagnosis in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. It's a cluster B personality disorder. And if you look at the symptom criteria for that disorder, it's mostly grandiose, but not necessarily all grandiose. So we see a grandiose sense of self-importance, fantasies of wealth, power, and success. The DSM says unlimited success, but it can really just be even exaggerated success. We see that somebody feels like they're special or unique. They require excessive admiration. They have a sense of entitlement. They tend to manipulate other people. They have a lack of empathy.
Slow down. That was a lot right there. That was a lot right there. And that fits every single guru from Gorhari to Harvard Dumbass to Brian Tibbetts to Hugh all of them.
Admiration. They have a sense of entitlement.
Wait a minute.
But it can really just be even exaggerated success. We see that somebody feels like they're special or unique. They require excessive admiration. They have a sense of entitlement. They tend to manipulate other people. They have a lack of empathy. They're jealous and arrogant. So those are the...
Oh my God. Oh my God. So I would what I would do after hearing that, I would if I was talking to this guy, I'd say, let me show you. I'd say, let me show you something. Let me show you something. All this admiration and thinking they're special and all that stuff you just said. Let me show you something and let me ask you what you think about. Let me ask you what you think about this. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, you try to tell me that doesn't fit. You try to tell me that doesn't fit exactly what he was just saying about narcissistic personality disorder. You can't. You can't tell me that is not what he just said. This guy's got a ton of food in front of him. This guy's got a ton. Look at all this food. I mean, this guy. Look at that food. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. That's insanity. That's insanity. That's insanity. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to eat it all. I'm just saying the amount of worship and admiration and narcissism that this guy has, that he would sit there and let these people do this. I mean, I can't even, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. But not even talking about the foot fungus smoothie. Not even, we haven't even gotten to that. I mean, that's coming. But yeah, I mean, just this is disgusting enough. This is disgusting enough. And then, like, they've got to blow the horn for him. I mean, does he even know? Does he even know what's going on? I don't even think he knows what's going on. They got the flame. They got a big ladle. We got a big ladle for his big feet. We're gonna use the big ladle for the big feet and the little ladle for the little feet. It's just Hey Ghana, good to see you, Ghana. Yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Has the whole world got crazy?
The whole world gone crazy! Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
This is crazy, man. Socio-narcissistic gurus surround themselves with yes sir folks that wash their feet. They need them in order to flourish and live in their transcendental world, in their fantasy world, their delusional fantasy world, where there's some kind of special guru, spiritual leader, guru guy. I know, it's fresh. He should walk across that. Why doesn't he walk across all that food? He should walk across this food. They just rub the food on his feet. I mean, why don't they just take all this food? Why don't they just take all this food and just rub it all over his feet? If his feet are so special, let's just mush that between his toes. Let him stomp all over that shit, and then distribute it, because obviously it needs to touch. It needs to touch his fucking feet. Tell me it's a cult. Tell me it's a cult. Fucking cult. I'll tell you it's a fucking. I know. It's a fucking cult. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous, man. So we show this video to these guys, man, and what are they gonna say? What is this guy gonna say? What's this guy gonna say? What is this guy gonna say when he sees this
Symptom
video?
criteria we see for NPD, and again, most of those relate to grandiose narcissism. Now, grandiose narcissism, we see characteristics like being extroverted, socially bold, self-confident, having a superficial charm, which is similar to what we see with psychopathy, being resistant to criticism, and being callous and unemotional, which is also similar to psychopathy. As we move over to vulnerable narcissism, we see shame, anger, aggression, hypersensitivity, a tendency to be introverted, so low on extroversion, defensive, avoidant, being anxious, depressed, and generally under distress, and also being socially awkward and shy. So grandiose and vulnerable narcissism are usually conceptualized as subclinical presentations, so they don't rise to the level of requiring treatment. They're not pathological. NPD, of course, by definition, is pathological. Now, if we look at vulnerable narcissism and we start to think, okay, is it related to some personality disorder? Obviously, with that description, borderline personality disorder seems like it could be a correlate. But with vulnerable narcissism, again, we're talking about something that's subclinical. We wouldn't expect to see self-harm. We wouldn't necessarily see impulsive behavior with vulnerable narcissism. So it is a bit different than borderline personality disorder. Now, it is important to note, too, that I'm talking about grandiose versus vulnerable. Sometimes grandiose is called overt, and sometimes vulnerable is called covert narcissism. So there are some really interesting distinctions between the pathological side of narcissism and the subclinical. So with NPD, the personality disorder, we see overlap, again, between grandiose and vulnerable narcissism, and we see in individuals who have NPD. It's not unusual that they go from having grandiose narcissistic traits over to vulnerable traits.
Watch what alcohol does to stuck poop.
If your belly blows up like a balloon every time you eat, you have what doctors call a poop trap. It's where 15...
It's a poop trap.
And sometimes they go from having vulnerable traits over to grandiose. So there seems to be oscillation there. But
so as you can see, I'm gonna say, as you can see, when I started to research the mental illness that these gurus exhibit, there's a lot there. Like when we say that someone is crazy, or we say someone is a narcissist, or we say someone is delusional, or someone is psychotic, right? Those are big terms, and there's a lot of things that are going on in there. Now you just say somebody's mentally ill, right? Well, what? Like how? What? Right? Is it narcissistic Is it borderline personality disorder? Is it narcissistic personality disorder? Is it grandiose narcissism, or is it vulnerable narcissism? Is it delusional? Is it a personality disorder, or is it a mental illness? Or is it a person with personality disorder that has mental illness? There's a lot going on. It's not so easy to say why someone is crazy or how they're crazy or diagnose them as crazy. There's a lot that goes on. Just saying someone's crazy is not enough. And that's why people can be crazy, but they can be functional. They can be narcissistic, and that doesn't mean that they need to be hospitalized. It's just a personality disorder. But they can also be narcissistic and be pathological, where they do need to be, where they are dangerous. There are delusions. There are people that are delusional, where they don't need to be locked up, but there are people that are delusional that do need to be, that are schizophrenic or, a danger to themselves and others. So it's a touchy subject, and I believe that these gurus, and it's just me, I'm no doctor or anything. I'm no anything at all. I'm just a guy that's researching, but I believe that these gurus, a lot of them have a personality disorder. First of all, they have a personality disorder, but they're also mentally ill. And like this guy says, these things can overlap. The fantasies can overlap. The narcissism can overlap with the borderline personality disorder, or the narcissism can overlap with the psychosis or the psychopathy or the sociology. Like, just because, and again, like when he breaks down psychopaths, there's type 1 and type 2. There's psychopaths and there's sociopaths. So there's a lot that goes on with this. It's not easy to figure out. Yeah, seeing Jai Pataga there is weird. I suffer from the looking for a savior guru complex. Not anymore. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and that's part of the psychosis, and that's in Prabhupada's books, where he brainwashes you into thinking that you need some guy to tell you how to love God and what to love and where to love and who to love and why, how, where, when, what. You got to have a bona fide spiritual master. The bona fide spiritual master can teach you, can give you the truth, because he can impart knowledge to you because he's seen the truth. This is bullshit. Oops, what does it say? I remember, was at London Rath Yatra when I was there in the 90s. It was before he had his stroke. Yeah, I saw him before he had a stroke too in L.A. When I heard he had a stroke, I was like, wow. Having people pour milk over your feet might be a twisted joke, but after that, the guy proved himself as a jackass. I think it's a twisted. I think it's a twisted humiliation ritual that they used 1,000 years ago or hundreds of years ago. It was a humiliation ritual. In the same way that they made that girl get on the YouTube and put simple pussy woman under her name, and she had to sit there with that name under her picture, sit there and say, yeah, I'm a simple pussy woman. I'm a dumb woman with a small brain. And I don't know any better, and blah, 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 blah. It's no different. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So I recommend you go see this guy. Go check out this guy too if you want to learn more about from him. Is Dr. Todd Grande, and I think I put a link in the thing already. If not, I'll add it. He's really good. I think I got another one from him. And Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, here we go. I think I'm gonna show a little bit of this. The same jackass that claims the best couch in the room for himself. Yeah. Let me see.
So people will say, well, a narcissist, they don't have guilt because they lack empathy. Guilt is a different construct. So we do actually see a fair amount of guilt with narcissism. Again, very little with psychopathy. And the last area here that I'd expect to see with psychopathy, but not with narcissism, would be this ability to be cold and calculating. Now again, there's overlap, so we do see this characteristic with both traits, but it's much stronger with psychopathy, especially when we consider psychopaths who commit serious criminal acts. They're really quite cold and calculating and can harm people without really having much of an emotional response. I would not normally expect to see that with just straight narcissism.
So if these gurus can get together and order a guy to get shot, to be shot in his van, and then they put the guy, and then they try to get the guy out of the country, the guy goes to jail, they support the guy in jail, they make him a sannyasi in jail. These people are psychopaths. Bottom line. And how can you be part of that? How can you be part of that? How can you join? How can you be a guru along with a group of gurus that would put a hit out on a guy and say, "Yeah, I'm part of that. I'm a guru right along with those guys. They're gurus. I'm a guru too. We're all gurus. We're all part of the same guru." How do you do that and not be a psychopath? How does Harvard dumbass Goswami think that he's not part of this cult that had this guy killed? He thinks he's not part of it? He thinks he's not part of the cult that sent that woman to Africa? He thinks he's not part of the cult that caused Jog Jivan to commit suicide? He thinks he's not part of the cult that caused Vishnu John to commit suicide? He thinks he's not part of the cult that caused Nrsingananda's son, what was his name, Jiva, to commit suicide? He thinks that he has nothing to do with that. No, you have everything to do with that. You have everything to do with that. Harvard dumbass and Indra Yumna and Hugh Turvey and Lokanath and all you other scumbags and Dickie Slavin. We know you got something to do with that. You all got something to do with it because you're all part of the same team. Yeah, it's like I suspect Jai Pataka knows a lot about the darker side of ISKCON and being a guru that he won't ever tell. Yeah, well, he can't now. He can't communicate. So he's Narayan Fraudster said Jai Pataka had a stroke because he had made offenses unto him. Yeah, see, there they go with their health. Health is karma. So if you get old and die, you get old, sick, and die, well, then you're a victim of karma. But no, Narayan Maharaj was no victim of karma, right? He I don't know how he died, but why did he die? Why did Prabhupada die? Prabhupada suffered. Prabhupada suffered. What was Prabhupada's karma? I thought he was a pure devotee. Why did he suffer? These people and their bullshit pisses me off. I'm sorry, it just does. It just pisses me off because people believe this shit. People they say this stuff and they repeat it. I've been hearing it for years. You've been hearing it for years. We've all been hearing it for years. And now Paz's brother is hearing this shit, and people like Paz's brother is hearing this shit, and believe in it. He's the original 11 guru. They call him Acharyapad. Yeah, but how did he become a guru? Where's Prabhupada's order to him to be a guru? I know Prabhupada made him a Ritvik guru, said he could initiate on Prabhupada's behalf, but I don't know where the letter is where Prabhupada made him a guru and said that he could accept his own disciples. Because Prabhupada says you can only become a guru when you're ordered by your guru. That's what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says that. So all these gurus, they have to show us where Prabhupada made you a guru. Where did Prabhupada make you a guru? Just show me. I don't really care. It's not gonna make any difference. But you wanna claim to be a guru? Well, show me where he made you a guru. Where's the letter? Where is the letter in the Vedabase that said that from Prabhupada to Lokanath, or from Prabhupada to Dicky Slavin, or from Prabhupada to Acharya Dev, or from Prabhupada to whoever? Where's that in the Vedabase? Where can I look up in the Vedabase where Prabhupada ordered you? Did he order you in secret? Did he order you in a dream? Because we know about the dreaming guys. We know. Yeah, they're all keeping quiet. Well, we all know. We Yeah, okay, so there you go. The New Vrindavan devotees cooked a huge feast for the entire prison. So that is, not only is it madness, those are psychopaths. Those are psychopaths who are glorifying this murderer who murdered this guy in cold blood on the orders of some other cold-blooded killer who they think is a guru. I'm telling you, we gotta turn it over to this guy. We gotta turn it over to this guy so he can figure out if these guys are psychopaths or they're narcissistic with delusions of grandeur. Because I'm not qualified yet. I'm not qualified to figure that out yet. Hey, Don, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to see you, man. Jadharani wrote a book on how these gurus' sickness and tragic events in their lives are just leelas for us fallen souls. Yeah, of course. Oh, how convenient. I got to get that from the church lady. Isn't that convenient? Well, isn't that convenient? Everything's so convenient with these people, right? Isn't that so convenient that their sickness and Tamal's car accident, that was Leela. Tamal getting his head smashed in a car accident, going head first into a tree. That was his divine Leela. That was Tamal's divine Leela. Fucking A, man. Prabhupada never appointed those 11 scumbags. No, he never did. Shamarani, another one bites the dust. Another one. It's such a scam, such a friggin' scam. Okay, I got a couple more videos here. Let me see. I did that guy. Okay, so after, narcissistic personality disorder, delusions of grandeur, the mental illness, she's a goddamn lying crook. I know they all are. They all are, which brings us to this guy, is another friggin', you can't talk about delusional, mentally ill, narcissistic delusions of grandeur without this guy.
Persons in this world, the supreme person has it all. Okay? And those who are attached to that supreme person become that kind of manifestation in the world. You'll see they have the supreme happiness, the supreme intelligence, supreme logic, There you go. You got a hint, anybody?
See, he really thinks, this is the little delusion. He really thinks that what he's saying is just amazing. That's the delusion. He thinks that what he's saying is just so amazing. His realizations and his understanding is so amazing. Why don't people understand him? Why do these 4 people follow this guy?
Can anybody understand how this thing works? How you can tell who is really loves God to that extent? Can you see that what is a real guru is the greatest devotee with the greatest happiness of that devotion, the greatest intelligence that comes from that you read in chapter 1 of Adi Leela? You know, that kind of devotion that Krishna said, are you that Krishna looking at, wow, look at that devotion.
You can't tell me this guy's insane. You can't tell me that this guy's not Jim Jones. This guy is Jim Jones. He's freaking insane. And these people are insane. These people are insane. Let me turn this down because I know it's loud. I know it comes out loud, but
if you see somebody who's crazy and you don't realize they're crazy, then you're fucking crazy.
You gotta be fucking crazy. You gotta be yabba dabba doing. Yeah, he believes his own bullshit. I know. I'm so sick of it too. But he's harming that poor woman. That poor woman's trying to get out and she's trapped. She's literally trapped in there. He was joking about her being trapped in there, like, oh, they think she's trapped. She really is trapped. She's trapped because her husband loves this guy. And she can't, she's stuck. She's stuck with this guy. That's it. She's stuck with this guy. And there's nothing she can do. And it's sad. I'm laughing, but it's sad. It's really sad that she's stuck in this. She's stuck. He truly believes his own bullshit. He truly believes that is the mental. That's why I don't know if it's a mental illness or if it's a personality disorder. I think he's got a personality disorder, and I think he suffers from mental illness. I think, and they all do. They all are mentally ill. Every single one of these people. They are all mentally ill. Jadharani is a mental case. They all are. That's what I'm saying. After 50 years of this shit, you gotta be a mental case. If you haven't woken up, if you haven't come to your senses, you're gone. There's no, after 50 years of this, give me a fucking break. Give me a break, man. You gotta be out of your mind.
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, you know, has it ever occurred to you that instead of, running around blaming me, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
This see how that's picked up Gora's side? Yes, that's he believes. Okay, let me tell you about the snotty. He believes that snotting in a rag is an ecstatic symptom. He believes it's an ecstatic symptom, and that we should all, that when we reach it's so fucking insane, that when we reach the stage of ecstatic Rupa Nuga Bhakti, and it's just pure love of God, that the snot will start flowing from your nose, and so you got to blow it. You have to transcendentally blow that snot out of your nose, and that's part of the symptoms of loving God. And didn't you hear him say he's the one who can tell you how to love God. And if you're not snotting in a rag, then you're just not loving God. You're just not loving God, man. The truth is, Prabhupada was barely a part of the Gaudiya Math. He lived on the outside, was appointed as acharya. He was not. Yes, absolutely. He was the Gaurahari. Prabhupada was Gaurahari. Bhakti Siddhanta told Prabhupada, "Hey, you speak English pretty well. You should preach. You should preach for me." And so Prabhupada said, "Oh, that means I'm a guru. I guess I'm a guru. I'm a guru now. Just like this fucker had a dream. This guy had a dream, so now he's a guru." So Prabhupada imagined that Bhakti Siddhanta authorized him to be a guru because he told him that he spoke English really well. That was his appointment. And when the girl asked him, when did you become the leader of, when were you appointed the leader? Prabhupada says, "Hey, just slow down, okay? You don't even know. You don't know anything. You basically what he was telling her was, you're not qualified to ask me that question. Like my disciples don't even ask me that question. You can't ask me that question. These guys don't even ask me that question. So you just hold your horses there, pilgrim. You don't get to ask that question." Yeah, it's a transcendental tissue movement. Boom, 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 boom. I can snot. Boom, 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 boom.
I can dance. Boom, 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 boom. You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, boom, boom. Yay!
Yeah, he is. He's totally guilty in the facade. He's the original one. Bhakti Siddhanta too, and Bhakti Vinod. I don't believe any of their bullshit. I just don't. You can't. How can you trust a guy? How can you trust a guy who had an 11-year-old wife? He didn't put that anywhere in his book. Did he say? He kind of slid that in. He didn't put in his books he was snorting snuff. He did put in the child. He did put in 12-year-old girls should be married to 24-year-old men. He made sure that was in there. He put in there that women are less intelligent and have small brains. He made sure that was in there. Probably the original friggin' scammer. And Bhakti Siddhanta too. He's no guru. Bhakti Siddhanta, he's making all this shit up. Bhakti Siddhanta is making up shit. He's making up scriptures. He's making up this and making up that. Making up rules. Saying wear this dhoti and put these beads on and chant this Gayatri mantra Bhakti Siddhanta is making up the whole thing. Who was Prabhupada's guru? His guru didn't Bhakti Siddhanta, that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Bhakti Siddhanta took initiation from a painting of a guru. Yeah, he invented all this pure snotting bliss. Pure snotting bliss. He told everyone that met him to spread. Right, exactly. But Prabhupada took it as an order. Prabhupada took it as I can be guru. Just in the same way that all these ISKCON knuckleheads took it as an order. Well, Prabhupada, I can be a guru too. And they can. I mean, whether you're authorized or not, you're still a fucking idiot fake it till you Vedic. It doesn't matter whether you're authorized or not. You're not special. That's what I'm trying to say. Dreams, dream. We're dreaming. We're going to dream.
He didn't have that dream. I did.
I did. Every friggin' one of them are evil. Yes, every single one. They're all on the same team. They're all on the same team. Some of them are on the bench and some of them are starting, but they're all on the same team. Okay, let me see. Okay, so enough of this fucker. And then we got the food. We got the food. Oh, we got this guy. Authorization from another human is bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I would, if Guru Hari was just teaching something like a Tony Roberts, he's saying, hey, I read some really cool books and I kind of put this thing together, and if you chant these mantras and you do this stuff, you can be happy. And he had a class where and he's telling them, you chant like this, and we're going to chant, we're going to read these books, and we're going to chant. Fine. And you want to call yourself a guru? That's no different. I mean, fine. But all this shit with Prabhupada's books and all this, no, that you're scamming. Now you're just scamming. You've gone into the scammer. You've gone into the scammer realm. You've gone into the realm of scam. That's yeah. And when they come to you in a dream, man, even more bullshit. When a human can, you imagine having a dream and the guy in the dream is like giving you bullshit. Hey, here's some bullshit, and you're like, wait, I gotta wake up from this dream. I'm getting bullshit in my dream now. You gotta be out of your mind. Just like this guy. This guy's mentally ill. He's sitting there on a chair. He's got this dressed up in orange, and whenever you see somebody in orange, you gotta go, hey, this guy's crazy, because he's crazy because he thinks women are evil, and he's if you see a guy in orange, he's got flowers around his neck, man, you gotta run, just run in the other way, scammer loca. He's gotta. You see this guy. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to hear the chanting. I'm just going to just go right up ahead. Where is this bullshit?
For one's own purpose or some other purpose, doesn't matter. So that makes one a separatist from the purpose of, and so that's not really a higher purpose. Like people speak of higher purpose, you need to live for a higher purpose, which is very obvious. Life.
What do we got? Oh, here he is. White Hindu, super white Hindu time.
In itself is very transitory. It's there for blip, for one blip in time, and then it's gone forever. It's very transitory. So there is a need to live for something that transcends life itself, for higher purpose. And separatism is that which separates one from the higher purpose. And in Krishna consciousness, that the higher purpose is Krishna's purpose. When under the influence of the mode of passion,
I'm sorry. Oops. So, okay, I got sound back. So, this guy, you look at this guy, right? You look at this guy and you think, oh, he's just some guy. He's a holy man. He's giving a class. Why are you coming down on this guy? No, this guy's a scammer. This guy is a scammer. He thinks if you wash his feet. Yeah, we can see your comments. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I got the sound. I think the sound is back on. This guy's a scammer. And he thinks that if you're washing his feet and you're drinking the water, that he's somehow connected to some scam pariah, some holy man, some God type man, and you drink that water from his feet, you're going to get like knowledge or mercy or spiritual enlightenment, or you're going to go back to Godhead and get the body of a 12-year-old girl. That's what he thinks. You can't tell me this guy's not delusional. You can't tell me that's not delusional. The fact that he is cosplaying this whole thing and sits there and thinks that his lecture is doing something for the world, that he's giving love of God or transcendental knowledge, or somehow he's helping people become a better person, or whatever it is in his mind. He's deluded. He's delusional. These people are fucking delusional. They're delusional. They're mentally ill. Yeah, it's Sannyas, disciple of Bhakti Vikas. Yeah, and he's and this is in L.A. actually. This is in the L.A. temple. Yeah, and he's gonna sit there like he knows something. Like he knows the secret to life, and the secret to life is chanting these words and drinking his foot water, or drinking the foot water from Bhakti Vikas, or drinking the foot water from Jaya Potato Head, or eating the food that he puts his feet in. This shit. He's no different than this guy. With his food, washing his feet, people worshiping him with all this shit, and then trying to say, well, we don't think he's God. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You think he's God. These people are insane. And this guy's no different. This guy's one of them. He believes all the same crap. And you say, well, does that mean that all religious people are mentally ill? I don't know. I haven't, I don't know. I don't know. I'm focused on these guys right now. When I'm done figuring these guys out, then I'll move on to the priest. Now, you want my opinion on the guys that dance around holding the snakes? Those guys are insane too. Those guys are insane too. The people that are running around going and doing all the talking in tongues and all that shit, yeah, they're insane too. Okay? Let's just get that out of the way. I think they're insane too. Now, just a regular priest who's, I don't know. I don't know how much they just believe in symbolism and going through the rituals, because I know that they believe that the wafer is just a wafer. It symbolizes something, but it's not really that. But I don't know how deluded and how mentally ill they are. They don't act like gurus. They don't act like right? They don't act like this. Okay, I can tell you that right now. They don't act like this. I never went to church when my mom and dad were taking me to church when I was 10 years old. I never had to wash nobody's feet. We didn't do that. We didn't sit around and pour water on the father's feet. Okay, we didn't go in there, and he was sitting in front of a bunch of food like that, and and he's sitting there like that. No, we never did anything like that in the Catholic Church. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but we didn't do that. He'll be with an underage girl. Just said, yeah. He's sannyasi now. He's a sannyasi now. But when that fun wears off, and he starts to get a boner in the morning, he's gonna be like Tamal Krishna. He's gonna like, man, I need to get an operation because I can't wake up horny every day. I gotta do something. He's gonna have a banana in his robe. He's gonna say, you know what? I just want to I want to have a wife, and then that ain't gonna work out. And then he's gonna end up like Trivikram. He's gonna end up like Trivikram. He's gonna be 80 years old. He's gonna finally get some nookie when he's 50 years old. At 85 years old. Yeah, we were sucked into thinking we were being spiritual. We were. We thought we were being spiritual. I thought I was. Damn it. I ain't getting up at 4:30 in the morning, going down to the temple, doing friggin' Mangal Artik, and greeting the deities and doing all that for nothing. I wasn't doing it for nothing. I mean, I wasn't doing it for nothing. And going to Vrindavan and going to the holy places, and it's not like you can just like you're a tourist. You got to be like a devotee. You take your shoes off, and you got to bow. You got to bow down. You got to get the water. You put it on your head. It's a whole thing. That's why it was so nice going to Vrindavan as a normal person, and like I didn't care about all that. Not that I was making offense. I wasn't doing that. I wouldn't go up to the deities and be like, I wasn't doing that. But it's just, not having all that friggin' mental baggage, just like not, there ain't no Yamadutas hanging. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Zeus up in the cloud. He's laughing. He's like, hey, they think my name is Indra. Trivikram is in Transcendental Sannyas Breaking Vows book. Yeah, he's at the tender age of 84. He's waiting for a 90-year-old Swami. It's funny how, he's 84, and he didn't want someone his age, of course. Why? Well, Prabhupada said he could have a 16-year-old. Oh no, not the feet. We actually did some weird foot thing in the Christian youth group. See, I was brought up Catholic. We never did any weird foot thing in the Catholic Church. We never did any weird foot thing. What weird foot thing is there? Well, Mary did wash his feet with her hair. She washed his feet with her hair. Other than that, I don't know. This stream convinced me not to stop by New Vrindavan today. Hey, that's up to you. You take your life into your own hands. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do. Seriously, I don't want people to say that I tell people what to do. I ain't telling nobody what to do. Get away from this cult. Don't even think of going back again for anything. Yeah, it is so hard. Once they have your mind, like they say, oh, you can just leave whenever you want. Yeah, you can just leave whenever you want, but you're not the same person. The person that's leaving is not the person that joined, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. They say, oh, you can leave whenever you want. But that's not the person that's leaving. It's a completely different person. It was funny. not in the Orthodox Church. A foot washing thing. Is a foot washing thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's a humiliation. Were you in a cult? What were you in? The Children of God? What were you? What were you? What Christian cult were you in? Were you a Jehovah's Witness or something? Hey everyone. Hey Ann, how you doing? Good to see you. We're talking about Christian cults and foot washing. Christian cults and foot washing. Yeah, New Vrindavan. You know, hey, if you see Paz's brother, tell him that his family misses him. If you go to New Vrindavan and you see Paz's brother, the black guy, tell him his family misses him. Okay, that's what you gotta do. You tell him, and you know he's probably the only black guy there. If you know, last time I checked, there weren't too many. So if you see a black guy at New Vrindavan, you know, tell him your family misses you. You need to go home. Tell your family misses you. You need to go home. Just go home, damn it. I was seriously, just tell him.
Just walk away.
Just walk away.
There's been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Watching from the beginning. All right. Well, good. I think you'll enjoy. I think you'll enjoy it. So we got through them, and then so they're teaching these kids. I'm gonna get back to these kids because I kind of jumped the gun on these kids. I wanted to talk more about these kids. Okay.
Yes, psychology. Both are similar. Psychology, technology, and spirituality. So science is psychology. That is correct. Thank you. So first I will speak about psychology, then I'll speak about technology, and then I'll speak about spirituality. So if any time you have any question, just raise your hand and feel free to ask.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure these little kids want to talk about psychology. Yes, absolutely. These little kids we're going to listen to you talk about psychology and technology. Okay.
So last year I was in California. Where is California? Yeah? Yeah, which part of America? East, west, north, south? Yes. Okay, good. Western part of America. So there was at a friend's house, and we were sitting, and he had a window, big window, from which we could see the beautiful greenery. California is a very beautiful place. Nice mountains, greenery, and we were just looking at the greenery, and then we were chatting, and then as I was looking at the greenery.
Yes, you should forget about New Vrindavan. It's a dangerous cult. It really is. And when we say it's dangerous, we mean it. It's not. We're not exaggerating. We're not being hyperbolic. We're telling you the truth. It's dangerous. It's not something to mess around with. It's not something to take lightly. Although we do take it light. We joke around and we laugh and joke a lot. I laugh and joke a lot. I call them idiots. I call them fuck faces. I call them mentally ill. I say that they're. I say they're all of that, and I mean it. But at the same time, it's a dangerous cult that you should not fuck around with. You should not hang out there. If you know somebody there that you go visit, you gotta start thinking about cutting them off. You gotta start thinking about cutting them off. I mean, you want to be there for them if they leave. You want to be there for them, but you can't enable them. That's the main thing is you can't be an enabler to this cult or anybody who's in it. Even if it's your loved one, you can't enable them. You can't enable them. And I'm gonna be honest with you. My mother, bless her soul, she enabled me. She enabled me. She let me do it. She never talked bad about it. She never questioned anything. She never talked to me about why I'm in it or about the teachings or never nothing. She just let me ride it out. And that's probably why I was in it for 20 years. I'm not blaming her, but I'm saying, I never got any pushback or any reason to question anything from my family, ever, nothing. Yes, it's dangerous, a life-gobbling cult, and you don't realize it. You don't realize it. These people don't realize it until it's too late. By the time you realize that you're in it, you're sucked in it. You're sucked in it. It's kind of like getting caught in a riptide. You don't realize you're in the riptide until you're friggin' out there and you're like, oh shit. And that's exactly what it is. You're playing at the beach. I don't know if you've ever been caught in a riptide, but you're swimming in the ocean and you're cool. You're swimming. All of a sudden you get getting pulled out. And you don't really realize it at first because it's not, you don't really notice it. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm way the fuck out here. And so that's how it is. And there's no going back. Yeah, I know the guru that passed away there the other year. I don't know which one, but yeah, these guru bullshitters are not doing a couple of card tricks and calling it a day. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's funny. Absolutely dangerous. Most of us here have had years and years of our lives gobbled up, never to get back. Never to get back, man. That's the worst thing about it, Don. That's the worst thing about it, is that those years that are gone. Those years are just gone. And I'm not getting them back. They're just gone. 20 years of my life, just gone. And nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. Except now I'm a cult expert now. That's what I got. That's what I got out of it, is I get to be a cult expert. That's what I got out of it. Yeah, they're all, they all learn, It does. It's like The Shining. It's like the Overlook Hotel. New Vrindavan has so much dark past, horrendous, absolutely unspeakable human tragedies. Little children being abused, little children being murdered, people being murdered, women being abused, domestic abuse. I mean, you name it, it's happened there. I mean, name something. Drugs. Oh, that happened in New Vrindavan. Murder. Oh, yeah, that happened in New Vrindavan. Sexual abuse. Oh, yeah, we got sexual abuse. Everything you can imagine has happened there. Stay away. Just walk away.
There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Yeah, there is no reason to go there at all. I mean, I know it's like a tourist attraction, because there's nothing else to see in West Virginia. I guess there's nothing. If that murder scene, if that crime scene is a tourist attraction, that's like going to see the Bonnie and Clyde car. That's like going to see where Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed, and people go see that. People want to go see where Kennedy was shot, where Abraham Lincoln was shot. So I guess people want to go to New Vrindavan and see where all those little kids were abused, and where those devotees were murdered, and where those women were beaten. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's why they keep it open. I don't know why anyone would want to go there. I just don't. I have no interest in going there. And when I first joined, when I was hanging out at the LA Temple in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, and I knew what happened at New Vrindavan, and people were telling me, I'm going to New Vrindavan. Hey, have you ever been to New Vrindavan? People would ask me, have you ever been to New Vrindavan? I would say, why would I want to go there? And they'd look at me like, oh man, I used to live there. It's great. And I would just be like, you got to be out of your mind. What is wrong with these people? What's wrong with these people?
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
I mean, I don't know. I know, man. I know how you feel, Don. I know how you feel. Absolutely. I got to keep myself from crying about it. If I think too much about it, I will. I'll get depressed. If I think too much about those 20 years, I don't even want to think about it. I'm going to start crying right now. Was a racist religion thing. He was being bullied for being too American, and he drowned himself. You know, okay, that should tell you a lot right there. I mean, that should tell you a lot right there. I mean, the girl that was sent to Africa and got killed in the Civil War was from New Vrindavan. They sent her there. They told her, you got to go to New Vrindavan. She didn't want to go. I mean, they told her she had to go to Africa. She didn't want to go. She wanted to stay at the crime scene. They sent her to Africa to create a new crime scene. And she didn't want to go. She wanted to stay in New Vrindavan at the old crime scene. And they made her to go to Africa, and then she ended up getting shot by a firing squad in the middle of a war. And you're going to tell me that ain't a fucking cult? God damn. You know, and I'm upset about my 20 years. I'm upset about my 20 years that I lost. People have lost their lives over this shit. Children have lost their lives over this shit. Women have lost their lives over this shit. So in a way, I'm kind of lucky. It was only 20 years. Because I could have ended up dead. Could have ended up shot in my van. Could have ended up buried under a river in West Virginia somewhere. Could have ended up burning to death in my room in Vrindavan. Or drowning in a pond in Florida. Who knows? This fucking cult. This is what's happened to people in this cult. So all of us that made it out alive with our senses and we're back, we're normal, somewhat normal. We're somewhat normal again. Got our lives back. Man, give yourself a hand. Give yourself a big hand for being able to do that. It's not easy. There's a lot of people still stuck in that. Can't get out. Which is why we're here. We're all becoming cult experts now. Yes, I think it's good. I think it's good because it helps us help others. It helps us help others, and that's what we're doing. Yeah, we're all going to be cult experts, and it'll help us in our lives, and it's going to help other people too. Absolutely, it's going to help other people. Yeah, we definitely did our own research. You could say that again, Weird Planet. We were definitely inside the honey jar. We were definitely inside. We were not licking the outside. We were not licking the outside of the jar. We were in it. We were submerged in the jar of honey. We were submerged. We were drowning in honey. Yeah, we know the ins and outs. We know all the strands in the old duder's head, man. We know. We know, man. Well, she did have balls. I'll tell you, she had balls. She did have balls, you know. I'm sorry that she got put in that situation, but you know what? She faced death like a holy person, I guess. I don't blame her for that. I don't blame her for doing what she did in under the circumstances that she was in. I got to give her credit for that. I mean, she knew she was going to die, and so she stepped up and said, "Fuck you," to the guy holding the gun. So I give her credit. I can't knock her for that, but it is a very sad story. Why? Like, why? Why did she have to do that? For what? What did she like? What did they do in that country? What did the Hare Krishnas do? They didn't do shit. And even if they did something, what do they do? Nothing. It's just so sad. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the woman who died in Ever for no freaking reason. It's disgusting. I know. Yeah, tomorrow we have to do something. I'll be on. We'll do a show dedicated to Salochan. Yeah, she is a hero. I respect her for what she did, but it's sad because she didn't need to be there. But under the circumstances, then she, you can't, I can't knock her for her actions under pressure. I got to hand it to her for that. We know everything about ISKCON. In fact, we know more than the current members of this cult. We know the good, the bad, and yeah, we do, because new people that are joining don't learn. They're not learning this. They got to search this out. They got to search this shit out. And that's why everybody coming together and joining in on this platform is really great, because we all got our own story. I got my story. Rafal's got his story. Ghana's got his story. We all know. We know every freaking one of these sick bastards. I got my story in L.A. Don knows. Yeah, I know. And when they and when they say we don't know, it's just so funny. It's just so funny when they say that we don't know what we're talking about. It really tickles me. It really tickles me when I hear them say, we're in Maya, or we're this or that. I'm just like, yeah, say whatever you got to say, just say whatever you got to say. Let me, I got a few minutes left. I'm not wrapping up just yet, but let's do,
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination, of imagination, of imagination, of imagination, of imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. Pedophiles get big samadhis, and this poor woman is mostly forgotten. Absolutely. Well, she's not forgotten, because we're going to remember her. And I think tomorrow, on the anniversary of Salochan's passing, I think I will do, and everybody will join in. Everybody that can will join in. And we'll do like a memoriam for Salochan and Hladini and Jagjivan and Vishnu Jan and anybody else that we can think of. And we'll spend the time just remembering these people, honoring their memory, and just feeling good about what we're doing, so that these people are not forgotten, that they're not forgotten, because they will glorify these gurus, their feet, wash their feet, do all this stuff, guru palooza around, but they're not going to do anything for Salochan or Jagjivan or Jiva or Hladini or Vishnu Jan or anybody that's been harmed. They're not going to do anything for the children that were harmed. They're not going to do anything for the women that have been harmed and nothing. Rupa Manjaris and all of these, they don't get anything. They get nothing. But if you're a pedophile guru, you get a samadhi. You get a big celebration. If you're a murderer, and you're in jail, they cook prasadam for the whole prison. That's how much you're loved in this cult. So we'll do something, and we'll remember them. We'll remember all of them, and we'll come together, and we'll have a little memoriam for the victims. And Salochan's disappearance day, it can be the memoriam day for all the victims of ISKCON. For all the victims of ISKCON, and that includes my friend Radhakunda and Janardana. Radhakunda, he was a victim. They're all victims. They're all victims. So we'll do that. We'll never forgive. We'll never forget that that they got suckered into this cult and paid the ultimate price. And all they wanted to do was be a spiritual person, help make the world better. They didn't know they were getting sucked into this cult the same way we did. Yeah, it would be cool. I don't know if I could make it, but maybe we could do something. I'm definitely all for that. I believe that it's good. It's good therapy. It's good. It's good for your mental health. Like-minded people there's chess clubs, there's tennis clubs, chess clubs. There's all kinds of clubs where people get book clubs, all kinds of clubs for people to get together. And there's no reason why survivors of traumatic experiences, cults, or whatever it may be, can get together. And can get together and meet up and feel like a family type thing. I think it's great. Yeah, you can finally. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Maybe we'll do that because I could. That's not, or maybe we do it. I don't know. That's not a bad idea. Yes, rest in peace to Radhakund. Yeah, so, yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. So let me get this video going. What do we got here? We did that one. What is this? This is
His grandfather Nilambara Chakravarti said, "This child will maintain the whole universe." So he was named Vishwambara, and everyone also called him Gaurahari and Nimai. After meeting his spiritual master Ishvara Puri, he returned filled with love of Krishna. He began public Sankirtan, and soon all Navadvipa resounded with.
Oh, here we go.
The moon of Nadia, Nimai Pandit, had transformed. As the ecstatic sounds of the mridanga and kartals shattered the silence of the night, not everyone is dancing.
I gotta say, I gotta say about this video, about this performance. The one thing I gotta say about this performance,
The shadows of a nearby door.
is you would think that all the Harinam, all the chanting and dancing that they do, that they would be able to dance and chant. That this would be a little bit better. All the Harinam that these people do, this is the best. This is the best they could do. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is the best they could do. This has got to be the worst. I mean, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? It's like it's like they got some people off the street and said, "Hey, can you be in this play? Because we don't have anybody that can do it. Can you do?" And they're like, "Well, we don't know. We don't know what we're supposed to do." And they're like, "Well, no, just dance like this." And they were like, "Oh, like this?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. You put these clothes on, go dance." It's just so ridiculous. It's so funny. It's so funny. This lady over here, this lady in yellow, she's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this lady's going, what is going on?"
Look at them, screaming, jumping, weeping. And
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. It's crazy because they don't even know. They don't even know what they're doing.
the dirt, and they call this religion.
And he thinks himself as a scholar. And they are just causing the disturbance to the public.
This is the worst. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. You know, they seem not to be into the dancing. It's just so weird. It's like you would think that they could, like the one thing that they should be good at, the one thing that they should be excellent at is this. This is too funny. This is too funny. It's too funny.
It's so much noise.
It's like,
I can dance. Boom, 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 boom. You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, boom, boom.
The chant god is already
Yay.
looking for reasons to tighten his grip. If they won't just punish Nimai, they'll punish all of us.
All of us. Okay, let's go and tell, right? Tell Shantas is official about it.
He looks like he's having. Chaitanya looks like he's having an epileptic fit. It's too funny. It's too funny. It's too funny. I think, Rafal, I think you said this to me. Yes, on point. They call this religion. Exactly. I know. You hit the nail on the head. They hit the nail on the head. I know they're mocking themselves. They're mocking themselves. It's like meta humor. It's meta humor. They're mocking themselves. This is too funny. This is too. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. Yeah, I can't wait to see the rest. I can't wait to see the rest.
The Kazi now enters. Please open the curtain.
I agree with you. It makes me want to put on a sari. Oh my God.
I can dance. Boom, 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 boom. You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, boom, boom. Yay.
Assalamu alaikum. Please be seated. What's the matter? What troubles the people?
Janab, many people are disturbed by the loud chanting in the streets. They speak of Nimai Pandit, who leads great crowd at night.
I gotta see some more of that dancing. I just got it there. I gotta see some more dancing, man. Here we go. Here we go.
I can dance. Boom, 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 boom. You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, boom, boom. Yay.
What is wrong? What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people, man? They have no idea how this looks. I mean, I guess there's no audience because they don't care. I mean, they don't really care. It's not. This is some. I know, but regardless, man. Come on. I've seen elementary schools. I've seen elementary schools do better. This is secondhand embarrassment. This is like. This really makes me want to join. That's so funny, man. This is insane. This is insane.
Stop this nonsense at once. Stop this nonsense. This nighttime kirtan, you have to.
Yes, stop this nonsense. Just stop this nonsense.
No! I can't take anymore. I've had it with you.
If I saw people dance like this, I'd immediately assume they're straight up mentally ill.
Stop. If you're not going to stop all this nonsense, I'm going to punish all of you. And this mridang will never sound again.
Krishna.
Hudson, New Jersey. Oh my goodness.
What will do now? The Lord has ordered us to chant, but the Qazi has forbidden it.
Nitai, see how the holy name agitates the heart of the envious. See.
Don't worry, we'll tell everything to Mahaprabhu. He will certainly protect the Sankirtana. Come, let's go. Come.
They're still dancing. They're still dancing. This is freaking insane. This is insane. That's crazy. Okay, you can't tell me. You can't tell me they're not mentally ill. I'm telling you, they're mentally ill. They're mentally ill. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's. Trust your guts, man. It's creepy. It's a creepy place. You don't want to go there because you spend too much time in New Vrindavan. You're gonna end up doing this, okay? You're gonna end up doing one of these things. You're gonna be dressed up and you're gonna be dancing around like a monkey. Oh my God, it's so crazy. It is so crazy. Crazy ISKCON clowns imitating realized souls who are experiencing transcendental bliss, and they have the nerve to pass judgment on others. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's crazy ISKCON clowns, man. You said a mouthful. All right, I think I got time for one more. Let me see. What is this? I got time for one more. Okay. Oh no, that's not. Oh, here we go. Look, it's they gotta worship this guy. They gotta worship this guy because he was on a flight for like 5 hours. So you might as well worship him. He's getting off the plane and he's walking through the airport. So you might as well worship the guy. You might as well bend down and kiss the ground because hey, he just got on. He was just on a plane for. I mean, isn't that a miracle? It's a miracle that he was able to sit on a plane for 5 hours and get up and walk. He just got up and walked. And basically, if you watch him, he's really floating. He's really just floating. He's just floating across the floor like a holy man. He's such a holy man. Look, yep, I was on a plane for 5 hours. I had to sit in a seat. I had to sit in a seat. Give me some flowers. Yeah, you got any more of these flowers? Okay, yeah. A couple more. You got any more? Okay, yeah, one more. Oh, yeah, give me more. More flowers. Got more flowers? All right, come on, give me Couple more. You got any more? Okay, now how about a little boom 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 boom? Okay, yeah, we need some boom 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 and flowers. A lot of boom 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 and a lot of flower. That's what I need. That's exactly what that's exactly what I need. Airport Palooza. I know, face down fucker. I know, it's so insane. Like, what did he do? He was on a plane. He sat on a plane. he sat on a plane. You know, I sit on a plane too. I can sit on a plane. What the fuck did he do to deserve all those flowers? Oh, Maharaj, you sat on this plane. It must be time for put some flowers around your neck. I know, I was part of it too. I know. I was part of it too. I gotta remind myself, I was part of this. I was part of you know, I did some crazy stuff too, because we had a Murti of Prabhupada, and we carry that thing around like it was a person. We'd carry it, we'd pick it up, and we'd say prayers, and he was life size. It was life size Murti of Prabhupada, and we would talk to it, and we would pick it up, and we'd move it, and we'd flower it, and we'd bathe it. It was a whole thing. Yeah, well, you can get flowers. You can get flowers. You can get flowers. That's no problem. You know, Valentine's Day, your birthday. Yeah, for doing nothing. Valentine's Day, you get flowers for nothing, for doing nothing on Valentine's Day. This guy gets flowers like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He gets flowers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, that's his job. His job is to make his neck available for flowers. That's what his whole job is. And his feet for washing, and his neck for flowers. That's all he does. He just walks around like this. He walks around like he's a fucking scammer. He walks around like this, and they just put flowers on him. That's it. That's all he does. That's all he fucking does. That's all he fucking does. That's all he fucking does. Imagine walking out with him and watching people falling down flat on their faces right upon eye contact. Yeah, I mean, talk about humiliation ritual. Did he see me fall down? If he didn't see me get down, then what good is it? Because he doesn't know how humble I am. If he doesn't actually, if I don't make eye contact with him and he sees me drop, what good is my drop? I'm gonna drop down and pay obeisances to his lotus feet, and he doesn't see me do it. Oh man. Yeah, go on a date with a nice guy. If you find a good guy, he should probably bring you some flowers. I don't know. That's humiliation ritual. Yeah, it's. Can you imagine that? I can't believe it either. I know. I can't believe it, man. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more, even though it's late. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do some more. Let's see. Oh, what is this one? This one. This is like Godzilla meets. Who did Godzilla meet? King Kong. This is like Godzilla. Godzilla meets King Kong. Here we go. What is this?
Start with GBC matters, and then they discuss the group.
Oh, it's scammer versus scammer. Scammer meets scammer here.
To Vaishnava tradition, to various Shastric evidences that worshipping the Guru, and this is system. Even the Gaudiya Math now has started.
So, Bhaktipad meets Acharyapad. So you got Jai Potato Head. Is that it?
Living in Mayapur, we always took the attitude, Prabhupada took the attitude, we established the standard. We don't follow the other Gaudiya, we follow this, make the standard. So I presented all the things, but so then what happened was that they started to say that, well, when they couldn't give any.
Oh, that's Bob. Is that Bhavananda? I can't tell if that's Bhavananda or Jaya Potato Head. Okay, I guess it's Jayapataka and Kirtanananda. Oh, okay, great. Great. Two of the biggest fucks on the face of the planet in one room. In one room. And you can't tell me that these guys are not friggin' delusional. They're psychopaths. They have every friggin' personality disorder, mental illness there is. One of them is a friggin' sex offender, mentally ill, megalomaniac, child molester, cult leader, and the other one is just a cult leader, just a megalomaniac cult leader. So you got both of them there, and one's a friggin' murderer. One of them's a murderer who put out a hit on a guy whose anniversary of his death is. These guys are disgusting. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. These guys are friggin' disgusting. That's Bhavananda. No, it says it's Jayapataka. It's Jayapataka and Kirtanananda. That's what it says here. He was young. He was. This was a long time ago. This was a long time ago. This video. So yeah. So it's Kirtanananda and Jayapataka. Yeah, it's Jaya Potato and Kirtanananda. Yeah, it's a very, very younger, very much healthier Jaya Pataka. So we're going to end it on those fucks. What a way to end it. What a way to end the mentally ill edition of Good Rice, but with probably the two worst mentally ill, narcissistic, personality disorder, borderline, psychopathic, sociopaths in ISKCON. These guys, the Kirtanananda and Jaya Pataka. Look, there's the other fuck right there.
And a Bhaktisiddhanta in the public either. He never even mentioned Bhaktisiddhanta for the first few years.
Well, he explained why. That was
Certifiably nuts. Certifiably nuts. A bunch of creeps. Absolutely. Absolutely. The lowest of the low. The scummiest of scumbags. The douchiest of douche nozzles. All of them. All of them. Hey, listen, that's it for today. I want to thank everybody for joining in today. Especially I want to thank Don and, of course, Rafal and Weird Planet in Ghana. And who else? And Fake Human, of course. Fake Human says insecurity creates insecurity. Absolutely. And who else? Everybody. And Jolynn and Weird Planet and Jolynn and Ghana and Liam and everybody. And my daughter Jabron for joining in, and Look Up 222 for doing nothing. Absolutely. Flowers for nothing. Money for nothing and flowers for nothing and chicks for free. That's what I'm trying to say. It's flowers for nothing and chicks for free. And one last one last yabba dabba do. Your name is Maya. Oh well. Okay, Maya. That's good. Hey, wow. Thanks for joining in. Wow. It's always good to see you. Snoggle. Thanks, Snoggle. I love when you're in here, Snoggle. And everybody. I just want to thank everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe, everybody. I'm growing. And that's great. And that's what we want. We want these videos to go far and wide. So everybody, please like, share, and subscribe. And so I want to wish everybody a great, well, before I do that, tomorrow I'm going to do the Salochan, Hladini, Jagjivan episode. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that tomorrow. Yes, so look up 222, look up 222. Come back tomorrow. Please, it's great having you here. Just walk away. One last walk away.
Just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Yes, just walk away. Yes, and what are you saying? You're saying
I'm smart.
I'm smart.
Not like everybody says. Like dumb. I'm smart and I want respect.
I'm smart and I want respect. Okay?
Are we clear?
You clear?
Are we clear?
We're clear. So everybody, please have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, great evening. If you're hungry, have a great brunch. Please have some great luck. Stay out of a cult. And hey, look up 222. This is the time where you get to see me when I was a Hare Krishna. So keep your eyes peeled. You'll not only will you see me in here, but you'll see my daughter too when she was a Hare Krishna. So thanks everybody.